All right, get this, y'all. Ron DeSantis is still making headlines, folks. He is calling for Ilhan Omar to be denaturalized as a citizen, basically because Ilhan Omar made a speech the other day saying that she's a Somalian citizen first, a Muslim second, an American citizen doesn't even come in on that list at all. So he's calling for her to be kicked out of Congress, denaturalized in a citizen, and says, go ahead and go back to Somalia where you belong. That's where you're from. That's where you claim to be. Go ahead and go. Biden says, this was an actual headline, by the way, folks. Biden, they say he finally figured out his retaliation for those 3 troops getting killed the other day by the drone strike from Houthi rebel drone strike or whatever. He's going to go after Iran. He blames Iran for that, basically saying they supplied the weapons. It's their fault. This guy it seems like he's about to start World War III, and it's putting everybody on edge, put it that way. Everybody's on edge about this because we don't know what Biden's going to do. Biden doesn't know what Biden's going to do, for God's sakes. I mean, come on. All right. So another headline, finally, right, after 5 years, somebody finally recognized, in my opinion, the greatest accomplishment of the Trump administration, the Abraham Accords. He's being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. That is great. Finally, like I said, after what's it been, 4.5 years, something like that, 5 years since that happened. I guess they realized that once, Biden comes into office, basically sacks everything that Trump done, all the way across the board. If Trump had his hands on it, Biden's doing the opposite. And the Middle East is absolutely falling apart. So maybe somebody finally realized that, maybe Trump did have good foreign policy after all. And get this, folks, the Supreme Court had to actually ask West Point, one of the most prestigious military officer schools in the world, had to ask them not to consider race in their applications. Why did the Supreme Court have to do that? I do believe it is against the law to consider race when you're applying for anything. You're not supposed to consider somebody's race as a factor for admissions or for jobs or for anything else, but tell that to Mark Cuban or something like that, who openly came out and told the entire world the other day, at least on social media, that he was looking around his company one day and was like, I don't have any black people. And they don't realize that this DEI crap is just racism. It's like the racism, we're starting to go backwards, folks, and we don't need to do that. But what's up, everybody? How the hell's your day going? I hope y'all are having a pretty good day. This here is Legitical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date on exactly what the government is doing, the ins and outs, what's going on in Congress, what bills are finna pass, what the White House is doing, especially these days, right? What the White House is doing. Keep up with Congress, keep up with the Supreme Court, let you know exactly what's going on. Stuff the mainstream media is not going to tell you. We also do a little bit of counter narrative around here. We love to counter the mainstream media narrative because there's always some kind of little twist or turn in their narrative that makes a lot of what they say an outright lie. They say stuff to make you think it's this when it's really that. So that's what we do around here. But if you're interested in keeping up with stuff like that, what the government does, smash that subscribe button for me. If you don't mind, it would be a big help. And turn on your notifications to let you know every time I pop out a video, which is pretty much every single day. And if you also could, do me a big favor and smash that like button for me. Just kindly look right below the video and press that like button. It sure would be a big help. Helps with the algorithm, plus it helps the channel to grow, so we can get this message out to more and more people, because some people are just sleepwalking right on through the Biden administration, and it's insane, folks. And we've got to stand up and fight. We've got to do it. So being informed is the first step in fighting back. Knowing what you're fighting against is the first step. And like they say, knowing is half the battle, right? The other half is actually getting up there and standing up and letting your voice be heard. Peacefully, by the way. We don't condone violence around here. But what's up, y'all? Smash that subscribe button for me. We're going to go ahead and get into some news. This is, we're going to say it's government involved, but it's a cultural issue that the government just so happened to get involved in. And it's an atrocity, if you ask me. Some insanity going on right here. All right, check this out, y'all. Montana family accuses government of kidnapping teen daughter after they refuse to affirm her gender transition. Right? This gender ideology BS is absolutely insane. You listen to some of these people talk, and it's like, what in the hell are you thinking? Right? Now, I'm gonna get this right off the top. Okay? If you're an adult, I don't really care what you do. If you are certain that you're a female, but you're actually a male, but you want to be a female, and you want to go ahead and, cut your junk off, somebody should try to stop you, of course, and say, hey, look, you're going to alter yourself permanently. There's no coming back from this. And if you still want to do it, by all means, go right ahead. I have no problem with that. But when it comes to children, I have a big problem with that. So I'm going to voice my opinion on this because this, like I said, is a tragedy. Montana couple Krista and Todd Kolstad are embroiled in a legal battle with state authorities over the custody of their teenage daughter Jennifer Redux, reported Monday. Jennifer's self-identification as a transgender male has ignited a firestorm of controversy and alleged overreach by Child and Family Services, according to Redux. The ordeal, which unfolded August 2023, has seen the Kolstad family accuse CFS of effectively kidnapping Jennifer following a series of events triggered by her expression of suicidal thoughts at school. The Kolstads share the sequence of events that led to their current predicament. It began with a call from the school alerting them of Jennifer's state, which led to an immediate intervention by CFS, Redux reported. Despite the family's efforts to provide a nurturing and stable environment for Jennifer, including relocating her to a different school district to escape bullying, which, doing that, sure, right, that's a logical step to make, but you're never gonna, I'm sorry, it's school. A 14-year-old, you're never gonna totally eliminate bullying. What you should do is homeschool your kids. If it's something like that, that is the best thing for you to do. Your kids to be around you constantly. If you're that worried about your child's upbringing, I guess you could say, what they're actually exposed to, the people they're exposed to, the ideology that's in some of these schools, some of that stuff, homeschool is the best way to do that because you know everything that they're taking in. And you can tell them the right and wrong way to do things. You don't have conflicting stories with your parents saying, no, you're a female, you're not a male. But at the school, they're like, no, you can be whatever you want. This affirmation BS pisses me off. And we'll get into that, though. Their world was turned upside down when a CFS caseworker arrived unannounced at their home. The situation escalated following Jennifer's claim of ingesting harmful substances, a claim that was later refuted by medical tests at the local hospital. However, it was Jennifer's desire to be recognized as Leo, reflecting her gender identity, that further escalated things, the outlet noted. We were very clear to the emergency room staff as well as CFS that this goes against our values, morals, and our religious beliefs, Krista said per Redux. However, the hospital refused to listen to the parents. They told me to call their lawyer if I have an issue, as they will do what the patient tells them. Holy crap. Folks, this is totally wrong. Parents have the ultimate say over their minor children, right? You cannot have the hospital just take their kid. Now, I had a situation when my kid was 11 years old. He got it into his head that he was going to cut himself because he saw a damn TikTok video, which TikTok is destroying the minds of children, by the way, if you didn't know. But he slices his freaking arm open with a razor blade. Don't know where he found a damn razor blade from. Right. They had to question him on that. CFS had to question my child on that. We had to have a talk. No, he's never done anything like this. We later found out that he got the idea from TikTok. But they do get involved in stuff like that. But they never took my kid from him. Yes, he had suicidal thoughts as well. They never took my kid from me. Once they saw that me and my wife were good parents, and that can be pretty clear right off the jump. Once they saw that there was no signs of abuse, none of that, issue was dropped. Took 5 minutes. The hospital's stance on Jennifer's social transitioning, coupled with what the Kolstads perceive as an undetermining of their parental authority, has led to a complex legal battle. I came one day and she was talking about having top surgery and being non-binary, Krista says of the aide, per Redux. She then talked to a doctor who also dismissed her. He told me, "Why are you not more concerned that your daughter is trying to harm herself?" Then what? The aide is talking about. These people are absolutely insane. You do not affirm when you have a child. This drives me to no end. When you have a child, children are confused. They go through phases when they're kids, right? When you have a child and they're like, "Oh, I'm not the gender that I claim to be," you tell them what they are. You don't affirm that, right? That is, if they truly have gender dysphoria, you do not affirm that dysphoria. It is totally wrong. It is insane to affirm their dysphoria, right? You wouldn't go to somebody who's anorexic and tell them, "Yes, you are very fat. You should stop eating right away and lose all that weight." You don't do that. This is not normal. You don't affirm that. You don't affirm somebody's psychotic mental break, right? You don't affirm somebody's paranoid schizophrenia. You don't tell them, "Yes, the government is listening to you through your toaster." The government listens to everybody through their toaster. You don't tell people that. You don't tell them, "Yes, you should eat whatever the hell you want." There's all kinds of mental disorders. We do not affirm all these mental disorders. Why are these people virtue signaling and choosing to affirm just this one mental disorder? It's insane, it's psychotic, and we need to put a stop to it. As American citizens, as good upstanding people, we need to put a stop to it because it's not okay. It's not safe. It's not the right thing to do. Right? A lot of these people never ever realize what the recidivism rate is for gender dysphoria in children, right? And if you don't know what recidivism is, it's basically if your child tells you they're a different gender than what they actually are, and nothing is done about it, right? Like you just tell them, "No, you're wrong, shut up," whatever. That the recidivism rate is at the lowest. There's been many studies. Lowest is 65%. The highest is 95%. And what that basically means, if you do nothing, 65 to 95% of them will just go through that phase and carry on as normal. Nothing will happen. However, affirming their gender ideology, affirming their dysphoria, you're giving them a, what is it, like almost 50% suicidal rate, 40% suicidal rate? So affirming their dysphoria is actually a lot more harmful than otherwise. It's a lot more harmful because, like I said, 65% at the lowest just go back to being normal kids. Nothing happens. There's no suicidal thoughts and none of that. Of course, a lot of people, almost everybody, has suicidal thoughts at one point in their life. But trying to alleviate these symptoms from gender dysphoria is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep them away from that suicidal thought. You're not supposed to push them towards suicidal thought. And plus, it's horrifying anyway. I mean, leave a comment down below what you would do if you were faced with essentially sterilizing your child, right? Because doing this surgery, all these hormones and puberty blockers and all this, you're pretty much going to sterilize your kid by putting them through that if they stay on it for too long. You're going to sterilize them. They're not going to be able to have kids. But that's what the insane Democrats, the left, love to do. That's their two main things right now, is abort your kids and sterilize your kids. How horrifying is that?
You know, what kind of message are you sending? Of course, they pretty it up with language, right? Like, you're trying to deny these kids gender affirming care? You're damn right I am. Because you affirm their gender by telling them, hey, if you're a boy, you're a boy. That's how you affirm their gender. You don't tell them they're something else. You don't make up psychotic fantasies about what they want to be. Hey, I want to be a millionaire, but I can't be a millionaire. It's just absolute insanity. And, you know, I really feel bad for these parents. But enough of my ranting. Let's keep going with this story. Jennifer is now placed in a group home and is currently being monitored 24/7 due to her suicidal ideations. The court granted CFS custody, planning to place Jennifer with her birth mother in Canada, whom she had little contact with. So I'm guessing this is her her biological father and a stepmother, or possibly adopted parents. It hasn't said yet, so we'll figure that out. But the birth mother, Christine, oh hey, that's my mom's name. The birth mother, Christine, had a history of alleged abuse, raising concerns about her fitness as a parent, according to Redux. Despite legal challenges and a court order for silence, Krista and Todd vowed to continue fighting for their daughter and raising awareness about their situation. That is absolutely insane, folks. And like I said, my heart goes out to these parents and any parent that has to deal with a child saying, I'm a different gender than what I actually am. That's horrifying. You know, I have a kid, he's 13. And fortunately, he is normal for a 13-year-old. He's a boy. Normal 13-year-old kid, as normal as a 13-year-old can be. You know, teenage years, you're getting into puberty, and they can be a little bit abnormal, but he's, for the most part, normal. And I happen to be blessed with a good kid. You know, he messes up. Of course he messes up, right? Teenagers mess up. But he is a good kid, and I love him. And I would be horrified if he came to me one day and said, Dad, I think I'm a girl. I would probably metaphorically slap the shit out of him, if you know what I mean. It would be horrifying. I would not tell him, yes, go ahead. You are a girl. As a matter of fact, you were supposed to be a girl. When we did the test to see if you were a boy or a girl, it came back girl. We don't know what happened. No, I'm not going to fill his head with fantasies, folks. But let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Do you think, give me, if you have some, if there's any lefties watching this video, give me some good reasons. Knowing the recidivism rates, right? And knowing the suicide rates of transgender children, give me some damn good reasons why we should affirm somebody's gender. Why is it helpful to affirm their ideological fantasies about what they want instead of what reality actually is? Why is that a good thing? And let me know, if you have a situation out there that you've dealt with around this type of situation. And like I'll say that, I'm not a doctor, so don't take advice from me, of course. If you have any situation out there like that, talk to a doctor. If you're having suicidal thoughts or something like that, there's tons of hotlines out there you can call. Leave a comment if you're, if you want to be anonymous. Leave a comment if you're having a suicidal thought, and I'll talk to you. I've got a slight bit of psychology background. I say a slight bit, it's very, very slight. I took psychology when I was in high school. Yeah, it was a high school psychology course, but nonetheless, I've talked with people, and I've actually talked a couple of people out of suicide in my life. Thankfully, they didn't do it. But like I said, that's all I got for this one, y'all. Yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section, and y'all try to have a good day and be positive. Don't forget to hit that like button. Peace.